Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and I wanted to do this live real quick and really talk about the subject of patience and what it really means to be patient. It means that you're grounded. It means that you're centered in your energy. It means that you don't allow the energy to be distorted in any way, shape, or form because you're allowing yourself to maintain the enlightened awareness that presents itself to you and being focused and driven to the very fact that you are patient enough to focus on your divinity and focus on your thought forms and allow your emotions to be a grounding sense of really purification, and what you say you actually mean it, and what you do you actually do it with an intent, and you actually allow yourself to be led by something instead of being led by something else that does not have a direct correlation of what you want to be. So having patience in dealing with people and having patience towards manifesting the reality that you have, it doesn't mean that you're waiting in the past, and it doesn't mean that you're waiting for something to happen in the future, but you're being present enough to see that it's already happened in the infinite realm of possibilities. And also, it means that you're not just going to react to anything that just presents itself to you. So you have a level of patience that supersedes all understanding because you're being led by truth. You're not being led by your emotions. You're not being led by what your thoughts tell you. You're not being led because something didn't fall through. And you're not basing it on outcome either, but you're having patience towards it because you're using your vibration as a way of channeling that purity, as a way of being that example and being truthful and being a grounded source for everybody so that you can maintain your peace and maintain your bliss and maintain your sense of emotion, your sense of drive, and your sense of continuity, so that you're not losing your drive or losing your ambition or your focus or what drives you and what allows you to become exactly what you want to become in this moment. So having patience means that you don't see everything as a problem. You don't see everything as something being against you. And it's kind of like having the patience to meditate and make sure that you get into that state of purification. Because meditation is a part of being patient. It's a part of really connecting back into your divine source. And it's allowing yourself to be a grounding source. But also, when you're emanating and you're going about the world or you're walking around, you want to be that light. You want to be a beacon to other hearts and minds. And when you allow yourself to do that, that means that you're being rebellious. But you're being rebellious in a very peaceful way, in a very loving way, in a very sincere way, because you are choosing to hold your authority, hold who you are, and ground yourself and dedicate yourself to something that's greater than what's inside of yourself. The inside has to change with the outside. And we see that when we balance that, we are using positive reinforcement. And we're choosing to not base everything on an expectation of how we should be, but seeing the way that we should be is led by resonance and truth and divinity. So you're not folding like a chair when something happens, or you're not just going ham on somebody because they didn't get your order right at the pizza place. So you kind of like let things go, and you're not necessarily being passive either. So now a lot of people will think of this and think that I'm telling you to be passive. I'm actually telling you to not let everything just affect you and infiltrate you and make you feel negative, because that's the worst thing to feel, right? So now you're kind of cognizant, you're kind of aware about everything that you're experiencing and everything that's going on and everything that's happening to you. So now that you're cognizant about that and you're aware of it, you're able to actually do something about it. If you don't feel good, then you have the ability to do something about it. And sometimes you have to experience not feeling good. That's the grounding process. That's reception. That's releasing. That's letting go. But it's not harboring. That's the thing. Don't harbor the division. Don't harbor the negativity. And don't harbor other people's energy either, because when you're empathic and you're going around everybody, you have to have a little bit of patience because your gifting's going to kick into overdrive, right? So your gifting's going to kick in. And then then you go to the store, and then you come back and you're kind of in a weird funk. But what if you could go to the store and be aware of the funk, and you might experiencing it for a little bit, for just a minute, but then you come back and maybe you take a time to sage and you take time to kind of release yourself from it, and you take time just to be like, okay, that's not my energy. So this is realizing what your energy is. This is realizing who you are as a person. So one of the things I think is also expressing yourself no matter how you're perceived. So patience is something that you have with dedication. Patience is something that we practice in meditation because we force ourselves to sit very still. So if you're a person that twitches their leg, or that is a person that wants to move around all the time or be useful, you're not going to necessarily want to sit down in the yogic stance and meditate. But you kind of force yourself to do that because that's practicing obedience and reception and patience. It takes patience and time to really manifest and to also use your psychic gifts as a way of service, as a way of connecting to others, and as a way of loving others. So, but it helps you purify because you're emanating from the light body, and you're emanating from the higher self's wisdom and your guide's wisdom instead of just your peripheral. So you're not like this, you don't have blinders on, but you're kind of open. Meaning that when we open our third eye, we're wanting to see into the astral planes. We're wanting to see beyond our scope of imagination and see beyond what is perceptible, but being an illusion. But also, patience allows you to concentrate. It allows you to concentrate and focus on who you are and how you want to develop. So there's a development, there is an acknowledgement, but also accountability and respect. Respecting your free will, respecting your alignment. So if you don't have patience, it's going to be hard to respect your alignment, because then you're going to go around and you're going to feel bad all the time because you're empathic. Or you're not going to meditate in the morning because you get into a funk or something. Or maybe you're having a hard time making the leap or having conviction in your faith to take the leap of faith to keep doing what you're doing and staying steady and consistent and not making it a competition or based on outcome. So patience is not just a way of seeing yourself, but it's also a way to kind of slow everything down. Just kind of take a breath for yourself, to kind of stop your thoughts for a second. I'm not going to tell you to stop thinking, but just kind of think about something else. Take the focus, take the edge off. Allow yourself to have a sense of healthy avoidance. Now, this isn't the same thing as spiritually bypassing. Spiritually bypassing means that you're unwilling to receive. But when you are not wanting to tap into that energy or weird energy or going around the store and stuff like that, that means that's a healthy avoidance. That means you don't want to take that on. You don't take on people's problems either, because patience allows you to set boundaries. It allows you to be a grounded source of energy, meaning that you're choosing to ground so that you're remembering, but also that you're trying to be in your eminence, meaning that you live by what you say, you live by the honor and the respect and the integrity within yourself to radiate within your heart's desire. That's what you're choosing to do. So, and then, but sometimes what happens in the spiritual awakening, sometimes we try to do that so hard, and then something happens and it just all falls apart. So what I'm talking about, that a breakdown does turn into a breakthrough, but crumbling or folding like a chair isn't good either, right? So it kind of gives us a different vantage point of really seeing ourselves. Seeing ourselves as energy, seeing ourselves as God, seeing ourselves as God and goddesses, and seeing that we are a realm. And whatever is in our vortex and whatever is in our realm, whatever is in our existence here and now, we have the ability to have the patience enough to ground back into our energy and recenter our energies. So I was feeling something that Spirit was talking to me and communicating through me about this was, today, if you feel tired, or if you feel different, or if you feel out of alignment, or if you're feeling like it's a struggle to get up in the morning or a struggle to focus and think, the reason for that is because our soul is doing so much all at once. We're simultaneous, we're omnipresence, we're energy that is working and becoming more malleable and becoming more humble by not just radiating the psychotic ego, right? Or self-sabotage or labeling or feeling like every time that something happens in your life, then it's a traumatic event. So we don't focus on this because we're afraid, because there is fear attached to it. But how could you be courageous enough to say no to the fear, to say no to the lack, to say no to the unworthiness, to say no to what does not make you patient. Now, I can be an impatient person, and I can comfortably, you can ask my girlfriend, she'll tell you that I can be pretty impatient, but she always compliments me on thank you for your patience. And the reason she does that is because I've had to, learn, and I had to understand how to not only interact, but also how to do, exactly what she wants done. So that when you're dealing with people, that's the thing too. But also patience can look like you are telling someone you really need to get your shit together without having to say that. So patience allows you to have a perfect state of purity and maturity. Meaning, like, one thing that I used to do, I wouldn't take accountability or acknowledge something that I did. So that's something that's emotional immaturity. But patience gives you a spiritual maturity so that you are not acting or shifting or vibrating in the illusion that sacrifices your alignment, that sacrifices your purity, that makes you fall out of the state. And now what happens is that you're not focused on like the details of what's going on, but you see the actual intent, you see the truth, you see through the illusion and the smoke and mirrors of the illusion, and you see that you can be patient in this moment. In this moment, you can be very calm, collected, direct in what you want to do and what you want done. So I was like dealing with like a printer that wasn't connecting to her phone. And there was like a slight moment where I was kind of like, I could be doing other things. I could be swimming, I could be doing this. But then I kind of saw that it was of importance. Something needed to be done, something that needed to be happened for somebody else. So I had to experience that, even though that it took such a long time, and they had to go through another different avenue to get the phone connected. And then it got the documents printed, but it was the same thing. That little thing, that little minute detail could have been the detail that made me want to fold and lose my patience, lose my grip on being spiritually alive. And that could have been the thing that could have been the proverbial nosedive that human beings do every single day. Just crashes, explodes. So, because I used to be very impatient, now I have a level of tolerance to the things that previously made me impatient. Now I'm more patient towards. Because it makes you not crumble. It makes you not say, oh, I hate this thing. Or, oh, the world's against me. Or, oh my God, this doesn't happen for me because I'm not good at manifesting. Which none of those things are true. It's always testing your faith. Every time that we experience reality, or we're experiencing healing or catalysts, in a sense, or circumstances that you have not yet detracted from yourself, then there is a lack of spiritual maturity or patience. Because some people are like, oh, I want to get this, it's over here. But because it's not over here, I'm going to throw a temper tantrum, right? But that's actually defeating the purpose of enjoying and exploring the journey itself. Really just enjoying like what happens and what transpires, and the healing and the integration and the experience to get there. Because, and also through my own life, whenever I would move, it would really emotionally affect me. That's one of the things that helped me have more patience in my life and everything that I do. And even this previous move is so stressful and the people absolutely sucked. And I was like, oh, this move's going to be great. But then guess what? The move happened, and the movers were not so good. I had to do most of the work myself. But then what is that? That is reflection. That's lessons. So because I moved around a lot when I was a kid, so that was something traumatic. So as I'm connecting this message and as it's being connected to you, so I can comfortably tell you that in 4 or 5 years, I would wake up and meditate every day and like have a good cry, because of how important I am and how important I found my gifting and my spirituality to explore. That's what allowed me to be more vulnerable and be more tenderhearted on my lives, to where I'm not coming from a sense of like having to vent or rant or preach and people still tell me I sound preachy, but the point is that my level of patience is much greater than I was when I was younger and impatient, even though I'm still fairly young, but I don't feel like it half the time. And my girlfriend likes to remind me because I wear shorts and high socks. She says I look like a grandpa, which is fine. So the patience is a supplement so that you can eat the fruits of the Spirit daily. So that you're not taking these medications just to self-medicate, or you're not overindulging in certain situations and thoughts and emotions, or you're not getting into conflict because you like contention or something. And then you have a problem with wanting to contest somebody because you have to assume a position. So all these analogies and these examples that I'm setting up for you guys is really like not looking at it from one way, but looking at it from another angle. And if you look at it from another angle, it will always teach you patience. Patience with others, patience with your life, patience with your husband or your wife. Patience so that you don't lose your maintaining of enlightened awareness. And it was another thing I had impatience towards with my own lives that I would do. I used to talk really fast and thought that's what people needed. But now I don't do that because I know people are not going to want to hear kind of like a rapper who just only raps fast all the time. And some people are not attuned to that frequency, even though I like it. But maybe someone likes someone who raps a little bit slower. Or likes music that's not like punk rock, where it's kind of like, more aggression and more like powerful, and the distortion's just a tad lower. It's a different frequency. So some people like soft and somber music. That's the same thing with patience level. So sometimes there's a time for action, authority, and truth, and really going for it. And then there's a time where you need to take like a step back and reevaluate some things, right? So you need to kind of like, maybe I didn't need to go about that situation, and maybe it actually gave me more catalysts and more situations than I didn't need. But you had to go through that in order to develop the patience that was supposed to really connect you to source, back into source. So take those words for what you will, but we're going to be doing a grounding activation to help us more with the light body. I did light body activation yesterday, but this is a grounding activation that's going to help you access your light body. I just didn't think about it yesterday because it wasn't something that I was focused on. So with this light body activation, also guys, feel free to book private sessions. I do have a private session special. It's 1 hour for $90 and an hour and 30 minutes for $150 and 2 hours for $200. And also at 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be doing readings. I hope to see you guys there. But we're going to be doing a grounding activation. And with this grounding activation, it's going to allow you to access your light body. And I almost forgot, we're going to use a lot of the Black Panther energy today. So with this light body activation, tap into your heart, tap into your divinity, tap into who you are, and allowance, reception, and acceptance of the quantum realm. So the Black Panther is going to help us regulate our vibration. It's going to help us with purification and downloading ayahuasca within our system and implementing it so that we are able to channel from that state of divinity to activate the crystals that are in the spine all the way up to the third eye. And then we're going to place Archangel Metatron's cube in the causal, which is going to allow us to ground deep within Middle Mother Gaia Earth, Archangel's 11 light, who's going to cleanse us of our auric field, tapping into God's source energy and the great I Am, diving deep into Middle Mother Gaia Earth, grounding deep within the earth. And then we're going to connect to the tree people, which is the implication of I am, which is the application of saying, I am that I am. I am because you are, and you are because I am. So with this grounding activation, it's going to recenter all of your chakras, be connected to your angelic chakras and your galactic chakras, and be intertwined, interwoven with your new dimensional ley lines, and have a sense of symmetry, connecting to the gut instincts, the heart, and the mind, developing the twin heart. Activating the sense of purification, activating the sense of knowing, activating the sense of becoming, activating the sense of alignment, love, comfort within yourself, being comfortable in your divine skin by using this patience that you have implemented. Archangel Raphael is coming with a green ray of healing, surrounding us with a green ray of healing all around our bodies. Archangel Raphael is the angel of healing. He helps us to heal, bring cosmic abundance, and also allows us to be patient towards what our intentions are, what our intent is, and also what are we acting on and thinking about. And we have the one infinite creator, Ra, stepping forth to help us become interdimensional simultaneous, but also completely psychically connected. Allowing us to become a spiritual guide, because our guides and our higher self give us the utmost patience on dealing with our humanity and dealing with things that have been unhealed, and allowing ourselves to release the traumas of the past, the hurts of the past, and also past lifetimes, and also emotions from past events within disassociation. So allow yourself to be activated by this grounding activation. Allow it to connect you to everything that you are. Know yourself purely. And we have a lot of spiritual guides coming through. The fox is going to help us clear the throat chakra. The fox represents trust. It represents faith, but also trusting your talents in changing times, meaning helping us with more patience on our path. And the camel is coming in very strongly. The camel helps with clearing negative energy. So whenever you're going about every day, allow yourself to clear the negative energy that presents itself. So being able to separate yourself from the energy. But also, when you're servicing others as well, that you are just that beacon of light. You are just that reception to other people. You are just God reflected back to them. And that's what the camel is demonstrating to us today. To be forbearing and patient. And now we're going to do the Kundalini energy, which is going to be quick release and then rejuvenation. And now we're fully connected to our guides, our higher self, and now accessing the light body. The heart of consciousness, Christ consciousness, the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom, a one infinite creation, the absolute reality fully realized, seeing God within oneself. Accessing angelic frequencies, galactic frequencies, signals of the divine, signs, confirmations, and setting the miracle into motion. Living inside of the presented experiences of I am. Archangels of love and light, who's willing to cleanse us of our auric field, tapping into God's source energy, and the great I Am, diving deep into Middle Mother Gaia, Earth. And never regret being the Oracle of Loveline and Wisdom. It will set you free here and now. It'll allow you to breathe, and it will allow you to receive. It allows you to become the manifestation of life, a universal receptor that encompasses this universal love, and that channels its own divinity whenever it needs to, whenever it wants to, and has the patience to carry the weight and the sacred flame of the future for all and for service and for the Shekinah glory of God's source energy. So everybody take one last deep breath. Exhale. When I snap my fingers, you'll come back to, you'll have a greater sense of clarity, you will know who you are, and you'll become the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom, here and now. So yeah, definitely needed to go live, for sure. So thank you guys for connecting with me. Also, I will be going live around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern doing readings, healings, activations. I hope to see you guys there. And also, guys, just let me know if you're wanting to book private sessions with me. It's 1 hour for $90 an hour and $150 for an hour and 30 minutes, and 2 hours for $200. So I hope to see you guys there, but also at the end of the day, just be patient towards what you're channeling, towards what you want to receive and what you're attracting. Just know that it will come to you. And know that you're not lost. Know that the God hasn't forgotten about you and that you're directly on the right path. You just got to hold that ground, and you have to hold that line and be steady and consistent, have repetition, and just know living your life as a guided meditation is one of the toughest things to do, but it's the most rewarding. So, thank you, God bless, and namaste.